If you're watching this when I released it, it's been the first week of the year. It's 2024 and the first week is already done. Now for you it either went past super quickly or it went by really slowly. Maybe in a good way, maybe in a bad way. I urge you to reflect and to think about how this week has impacted your life. Maybe it hasn't at all. Maybe to you, you don't really care about the new year. Maybe you've set new goals for the year and you really want to make a big change. What I ask is, this first week, have you improved? Have you gotten closer to the person you want to become more of? Have you fell back into those bad habits? Have you started the good habits you wanted to start?
I bet you wish that I was still right there. Used to live right there. Now I'm everywhere.
For me personally, I've never found the new year really as like a time to start new goals and to start resolutions and to make a big change. I've just never found that to be the case with a new year. I've celebrated New Year's and that's about it. I don't see anything too special about it, and I've always had the opinion of like time is relative and it doesn't really matter if it's a new year. You should start your goals when you need to, when you want to. And the only time you will change is when you change. It doesn't matter if it's a new year. It doesn't matter if anything, if it's today or tomorrow, you decide to start. But what I ask is, for those of you who have set goals, for those of you who just want to make a change, maybe you haven't set goals, how has this week been? Have you improved? Have you gotten closer to who you want to be? Those questions that I asked previously, you have an answer in your mind. And it's either positive or negative. There's no neutral. And if it is neutral, then it's most probably negative. If you think, oh, I haven't done anything really this year, then I don't think that that's a positive view. I think you should be moving forward. I think you should be moving. I think you should be active with your life, especially if you're young and you're watching this. If you're my age, every week needs to be one step closer to your goals, to your ideal self, to who you're building, right? And I'm going to get into why you fail and how to change it. Because me 2 years ago and 10 years from now, right? Future and past self, both of those versions of myself, if they could listen to this, they would better understand what to do, and they could have a better year and better goals, a better future, and actually make change. Whether it's the beginning of the year, whether it's halfway through, whether you just turned 25 or you just turned 15, I hope this helps you out and I hope it adds value to your life. And for those of you who are watching this and you don't care, you don't understand, you find this not entertaining or whatever, just click off. It doesn't add any value to your life, then click off, because you're wasting your time and there's no value in that, right? But for those of you who want to listen, for those of you who want to make a change, for those of you that have heard what I've said in the past few minutes and have thought, fuck, he's actually like speaking something, like something clicked in my brain, then I urge you to listen to what I'm about to say. Because these 3 things will change the course of the next few months for you, right? And I hope in the best and most positive way possible. Number 1, set quality goals, not volume, not quantity, okay? Tell me how many times you've set goals, new year or just randomly, right? You go to write down on a piece of paper, you're like, I'm gonna write down these goals, and you write 10. You write a checklist of 10 things. You want to start meditating, you want to start journaling, and then you also want to go to the gym, but you also want to run. So I'm going to do both, and I'm going to do them like 4 times a week, and then I also want to start martial arts, and I also want to learn how to code, and I also want to learn how to edit, and I also want to grow my YouTube channel, and I also want to, and you get to 10 things, 15 things on your to-do list, on your goal list. That is never going to work. Why? Because when you have that many things to do, you as a person, you're like a battery, okay? You got a certain amount of energy and time. Those are our two assets as humans. And if this battery of energy and time, if it goes towards 10 things, then it's going to be a little piece, a little piece, a little piece. And you're going to spread yourself thin. Okay? You're barely going to improve. And if you do hit these things, like let's say you do these 10 things every day for a year, you're barely going to improve. Rather than if you pick 2, 3, 4 big goals that you set out to achieve, and they're unrealistic to most. To other people, they tell you you're not gonna do that, or sorry, bro, you're not gonna. I don't think you're gonna do it. If you set that goal in your mind, and it's 2 goals, right? Let's say something outlandish like make $1 million and buy my first car, and it's your dream car, right? It's super unrealistic. But but I would bet money that the person that has those 2 big goals for the year or for the next 5 years will destroy the other person who has 10, the other person who has 5, the other person who has 15 goals. Because they want to do this and this and this and this and this, and they're going to spread themselves thin. And sure, there'll be a jack of all trades but a master of none. It's how the saying goes. If you truly want to become excellent at something, you must devote massive amounts of time and energy, which means less distractions, which means it's a priority, which means it has to be above other things. Sacrifice. Sacrifice 8 goals for those 2 big ones. I would say for a new year, for maybe the next 2 years, maybe the next 3 years, setting anywhere from 3 to 5 big goals is the best thing you can do, right? So write that on a piece of paper, 3 to 5, not more than 5, big goals that you want to achieve this year. Maybe you want to achieve in the next 2 years. Give yourself more time, Maybe you're 18 and you tell yourself in the next 2 years, by the age of 20, I want to achieve X, 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 whatever, right? The point is quality over quantity when it comes to goal setting, because the amount of goals doesn't mean shit compared to what you actually do. And if you do less but higher quality, you're always going to walk away with more. Next, the second thing, and I'd say the most important for people that are new to goal setting, for people that have been goal setting for a long time. Because if you're new to goal setting, this is going to make it a lot easier. And if you've been goal setting, if you've been writing down on a piece of paper what I'm going to do and whatever, right? Like myself, this will shock your mind on how simple it is, but how you don't use it and how you need to start using it. And that is identity, right? You keep thinking about these goals, these actions, and these things that I'm going to do. So you go to write down on a piece of paper, for this new year, I want to go to the gym 3 times a week, right? I want to draw at least twice a week, and I want to take tennis lessons at least once a week, right? I want to do this, right? And you keep thinking about the action, and that's good because what's important is the action, not the result. But your problem is you're not focusing on who you're going to become, right? So it's good because when you focus on the action rather than the result, you're always going to improve more than the person that's focusing on just the results, because focusing on the result doesn't mean action. When you get stuck on the result, you start doing the action and you're like, oh, I'm not getting what I want. Like, I've only taken 2 tennis lessons and I'm not that good at tennis. I'm still shit. Yeah, that's right. That's because you're focusing on the result and you're not focusing on the action. Just keep going to tennis lessons, and then one day you'll notice, I've improved a lot. And then one day you'll notice, I'm actually good at this. And then one day you'll be really good at it and you'll enjoy it. And one day you'll start disliking yourself because you're like, I wish I could be better. But you're actually way ahead of where you started because you focused on the action. Now that's very powerful, that's very good. But here's the difference between that person focusing on the action, which will always beat the guy and the person focusing on the result. But let me tell you a step above that. That is identity, and it is when you tell yourself who you're going to become. Not what you're going to do, but who you're going to become in the process. And that's why I really think that there's a large misconception when it comes to people saying, oh, it's about the journey, not the destination. True, but it's more about who you become along the journey, not the journey itself. Because sometimes the journey sucks. You don't want to work out. You don't want to go out when it's raining. You don't want to go for that long. You don't want to get hit in the face in sparring, but you're still going to go. Why? Because that's who you are. The biggest answer, the most powerful answer to a why is who. Okay? Understand that we are driven by identity and people, including ourselves. So if you want to set a goal, don't just set a goal, set an identity. Who are you by achieving this goal? Who are you? Why do you want to do this? Well, because I want to become this, right? Every professional athlete has thought about who they're going to become. And it's footballer, tennis player, UFC champion. And they see it in their mind. Every single one of them has seen it in their mind, has visualized it, has thought about it, and has become that identity. Not the goal. I want the UFC belt. I want the UFC heavyweight belt. That's what I want. No. They visualize themselves as the champion before they even are. Okay? Every single high-level professional, right? Not even athlete, professional, has done this. And you need to use it in your life, period. So next time you go to set a goal, so those 3 goals that you wrote, how do they fit the identity that you want? Right? Maybe it's to get a 6-pack, earn a lot more money, and connect more with family and friends. So next to each of those, write who you are. Okay? So if it's making more money, you are that businessman. You are that entrepreneur. You have to visualize it. You have to visualize that you are that guy making that amount of money. You are that guy working to make that amount of money. Same thing with every other goal. There's always an identity attached, and if you focus on the identity, the result will come, and so will the actions. So a way to get results easier is by focusing on actions. A way to get actions easier is by focusing on who, by focusing on identity. Okay? And this is why most people are lost, and this is why most people at a young age don't know what to do. It's because they don't have an idea of an identity that they want to become in the future, and I understand that because it's complicated, it's hard, it's difficult to just pick who you're going to become. But it's a lot easier than you think. Do you want to become someone who lies or someone who tells the truth? Let's simplify it in your mind. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be a question of what's your purpose on this earth. It just needs to be who do you think you are and who do you want to become? I guarantee you, if you visualize this in your mind, if you imagine yourself on who you're going to become and what that person, right, your future self, what does he do in a day? How does his morning look like? How does his nighttime routine look like? Does he have a nighttime routine? When you look at that, everything falls into place and actions become easier. Results come with that. And another thing is you feel a sense of shame if you don't, right? If you tell yourself, I'm someone who, my word is my bond, right? This is something that I have on a list of principles that I look at every morning. My word is my bond. If I look at that and I break that rule, if I catch myself lying, I instantly think to myself, oh, I'm like not who I think I am. And that's why most people get into these depressed states. It's because their identity doesn't match their actions. But when you have an identity as a goal, when you have an identity as a road to go down by, everything becomes easier. And temptation is so much easier to ignore. Distractions are so much easier to put out the way. And your sole focus in, cutting out those friends who don't help you with your goal, working 8-hour days towards getting that amount of money because that's who you want to become. You want to become that person who provides for your family. It's very powerful stuff, and I encourage you to use it because you will be ahead of 99% of people setting goals. Lastly, but certainly not least, it's health. You don't want to hear about it. You don't like it. It's the boring one, but it's the one that is important. Why? Because it affects everything, right? If you focus on your not only physical, but mental health, every single thing improves. Let me say that again. Every single thing improves. Okay? I'm not telling you, oh, it will help you a bit in business. No, it will help you a bit in everything. If you focus on mental and physical health, you will become a better vehicle for your goals. That identity that you have in mind, if he or she is healthier mentally and physically, they will perform better in all aspects of life. Okay? This is the thing you need to prioritize. Every single human should prioritize health. And I get it, you need to make sacrifices. Some nights you gotta stay up. Some nights you can't make it to the gym. Some nights you're just caught with temptation and you ate the bad food. It happens. It happens to everyone. But you must have it as a goal and have it as a priority. Every single person out there needs to prioritize health. Because once you focus on your health, everything else becomes easier. If you focus on not putting bad food into your body, right? These are my three biggest recommendations. Sleep, hydration, and whole foods. Make sure you're sleeping enough and it's good with your circadian rhythm. Right around that period of 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. is when you should be sleeping, right? Get sunlight in the morning and turn off all devices before you go to bed. Get high quality sleep and at least 6 to 7 hours at least. I'd say 8 to 9 is what you should aim for. Next is hydration. Your entire life, you thought that drinking water is hydration. In reality, sodium plus water is hydration. Put salt on your food. It doesn't cause high blood pressure. I've looked into this. You can take my word for it. You can research it yourself. You can think I'm stupid. Whatever your perception is, you're entitled to that. But I'm urging everyone to take salt and water. Because that's how you're truly going to hydrate yourself. That's how you're going to get 10% stronger in your workouts, have more endurance, have more energy, feel better. It's going to help everything. Because real hydration is when you put salt into your body and then water. That's the hydration. Also try to look for spring water. Never drink tap water, in my opinion. And be careful with the plastics in your water. Of course, it's extremely hard, but if you just aim for, specific brands that offer spring water, you're going to feel better. It's going to be way better for your hormones. It's going to be way better for your mood and your hydration. Next, lastly, it's whole foods. If you're eating something from a bag and you have to open it and then it's filled with these, on the back of it, it's filled with these things that you don't understand. It just says random names that you've never heard of. Then it's probably not good for you. Look towards whole foods. Fruits, vegetables, meat. These are the things that don't really have an ingredients list. Why? Because you already know what they are. When you see a piece of steak, there's no ingredients list. It's a piece of steak. Go to your local butcher and get a piece of steak. Okay? It gets expensive, but you save yourself so much more money because you get less hungry and you're eating nutrient-dense food. To most people, they hear what I eat and they think that's so expensive and they don't really realize how much money you save by eating the same things often and eating less. Ever since I cut out junk food, ever since I cut out processed food, and that's exactly the word, processed food, because something you might think is healthy, but is processed, is not healthy, okay? So cutting those out, these processed GMO foods, genetically modified foods, they need to get out of your diet because they're fucking with your brain, they're fucking with your body, and even if you don't see it aesthetically, it's happening. It's happening in your body, right? You're slower, you have brain fog, you feel lazy, you feel depressed because of your gut. You have no idea how much health affects every aspect of your life. So eat whole foods, try fasting, try meditation for your mind. Eat berries and kiwi. These fruits are very powerful for getting healthy natural sugars into your body and also awakening your mind, doing well for your cognitive function. Look into health, but if you just follow those three things, quality sleep, hydration, and whole foods, if you look towards those, I guarantee you, you will get 10 times healthier and you will feel 10 times better. I would also include fasting and meditation practices. If you're religious, prayer is very powerful. I would also include caffeine, but I'm not a big fan of coffee, so I would look towards maybe looking for caffeine pills, right? Again, the things that work for me aren't the things that work for you, and I urge you to just look into it yourself. Health is a very touchy topic. Not everyone's body is different, and it's the most complicated thing that you really can't just bottle down to like, oh, it's simply this. But I can confidently say that sleep, hydration, and whole foods is going to help everyone. And that's it. Those are the three things that will help you to achieve your goals. Those are the three things that are going to turn you from what you are today to who you want to become in the future. It's going to make you really take accountability and truly set your mind to your goals. Visualize, meditate, use these three practices. And if you ever see yourself falling back, come back to this YouTube video, rewatch it and think, what did I do wrong? And if you set 3 goals, an identity, and take care of your health, I don't understand how you could fail yourself. Take accountability, take responsibility. Always blame the person in the mirror, because blaming anyone else or anything else will never benefit you. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you found it valuable. I make these videos for my past self. It's not for a particular person out there. It's just for whoever was in my position. I hope it helps. I hope it was of value to you. And I hope you use these 3 practices in your life to push yourself forward. In life, you must be active, not inactive. And you must push. You must go somewhere. You must be moving. Never just stagnant. Leave a like, turn on the notifications, subscribe, leave a comment on your opinion on this. If it worked, if it didn't work, if you feel yourself failing, private message me, okay? Rewatch the YouTube video. For those of you who have made it for this long, be proud of yourself, because you are someone who can actually watch a YouTube video for this long without their attention span breaking and them wanting to go on TikTok and check the comments and start a new YouTube video and, oh, I'm getting bored. For those of you who made it this long, be proud of yourself. That's all.
Got bitches everywhere. I'm so debonair. I'm a millionaire. I act like I don't care. That's 'cause I don't care. Still right there. Used to live right there.